A frequent question I get is, if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give when starting your detailing business? And I just recently realized I've been given the same answer every single time. So in today's video, if I could go back 10 years ago and talk to myself for 10 seconds, this is the advice I would give a younger Oscar. You can do a lot more than what you're doing right now. Don't let anyone or anything set limitations to what you want to accomplish in your life. There's no rules. There's no one telling you you can't do something. If you want to do it, you can do it. So the reason why I say that is not to be like, oh, you have to work 24/7. Oh, be a hustler and don't do anything other than work. What I mean by you can do a lot more than what you're doing right now is due to the fact of like how you limit yourself in terms of what you're able to think that you can accomplish, right? So, you need to go back 5 years ago, and it's like at that point when I was or however many years ago, when it was me and Anthony, and we were working out of my HHR panel, there was no reason why I couldn't make the decisions I'm making 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And the reason why I probably wasn't, or most likely wasn't, is because the limitations I set in my brain of like what I'm supposed to do or what I'm as an individual able to do. And if I were to remove those constraints, remove those limitations, the creative thinking could have been a lot higher at a much earlier time frame, right? So what you'll listen on the podcast coming out this week, this Thursday, I believe, with Angel and Lex, is Angel was talking about that he wants to hit a certain revenue goal for this year, for 2023. And I asked him, why'd you choose that number? And he said, well, that's because it seems attainable. And I really recommend you guys listen to this Thursday's episode where I was telling him, look, it is not that you're gonna hit every goal, because you're not, right? That's just how life works. But it is much better to think with a bigger mindset, think with bigger goals, because you allow your brain to think creatively and in a different way to reach that set goal, right? So if your goal is to hit 2,000 a month in revenue, right? Why not make it 5,000 or 7,000? And you're saying, well, I'm just getting started, so this, that. It's like, yes, that's absolutely fine. But if you're forced to think bigger, you start to plan differently. And it's not to say that you're gonna do that right now or that it's gonna happen. It's just letting your creative mind let yourself plan different routes of what that might look like. Because with that creative thinking, that might allow you to get to a different solution and a different destination. Whereas if you just limit yourself to like, well, that's an attainable goal, I wanna go for that, you are just kind of capping off your creativity and your true potential of what you can actually accomplish, right? And yes, this is like business focused, but like this is for both business and life, right? That's why we have a gym here in the back. That's why as we continue to grow, we're gonna get a bigger and bigger gym. That's what I want, right? Like I want a bigger office warehouse space that has a kitchenette, that has a place where we can that's what I want, because that's me saying that's what I want for my business, my life, my team members, that's what I want to accomplish. And it's like, remove these constraints of like, well, no, that's because, I'm only in this small town, so I can't do that, right? That's for someone else. It's like, no, right? Again, not that you're going to try to accomplish every single thing that you set or think, but it's like, let your mind just go to those places of like, well, if I do want to have, if I do want to make $40,000 a month, what does that look like? Does that mean I have 2 employees? Does that mean a shop? Does that mean a Volvo van? Does that mean 3 vans? Does that mean 2 vans? Does that mean I have a full-time office manager? Like, what does that look like? Just let your mind go there, right? Like at a minimum, just let yourself think, well, right now I'm only making 4,000 a month, and like 7,000 a month would be nice. It's like, yeah, but just think about 15,000 a month. What does that really look like? Is that really out of your potential of achieving? 9 out of 10 times, I'm gonna say, no, it's not. It's within your realm of capability. But that's only possible if you allow yourself to go there, right? Mentally, you're only gonna be able to even think about that if you allow yourself to think about that, So a lot of the things that I'm doing now, or the decisions that I'm making, these could have been made 3-4 years ago, right? But I wasn't thinking at that big enough level, right? Even though I had the idea of like, oh, I would like to do that, it wasn't like an actual thing that I thought could be achieved, and my level of action was not matching up to what I really wanted to do, right? Even though, yes, like it was a thing that I said, I didn't allow myself to actually think and kind of, develop this kind of plan that I can actually follow to get to that point, So all in all, it was just like at one point, it's a dream that I might want to get to, instead of saying, well, no, that's an achievable goal if I set a plan and execute on it properly over the next, months or years. So my advice to you, in whatever stage that you're in, whether you're at $0 per month, whether you're at $5,000 a month, 15 a month, or 25,000 a month, like let yourself dream bigger or think bigger or set bigger goals. Like there's no one stopping you other than yourself. Like the people want to talk about the trolls and the haters and people that don't support you. Oftentimes you're the one that's limiting yourself the most. Often it's yourself saying, oh, I'd like to do 10,000, but 6,000 is achievable. Well, why are you setting your own limitations, right? So before we look externally to the haters and the trolls and the naysayers, right? Are you supporting yourself? Oftentimes, if you're not, conscious of it, you're not. You are your own limitation. Now, this is highly dependent on your goals and what you want to achieve in business and life and the kind of lifestyle you want, right? I'm not saying every single person needs to be like, oh, I'm going to go hit 50,000 a month. No, it's just really dependent on what you want out of life. But like if you are scared or worried or you don't have the confidence to say like, you're more like, oh, well, that'd be cool to do, but no, that's out of reach. I can't do that. Let me be the one to tell you, yes, you can. You have more potential than what you think. You're able to reach for higher goals. It's going to take you a bit longer. You have to think differently. But if you want to do more and achieve more, you can do that. So I'll end the video right here. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you on the next one.